hate this. I hate this. Okay. I had to delete 2 whole streams because YouTube decided to basically face reveal without my permission. Okay, so as for those who don't... What? Okay. Whatever. 3rd time's a charm, yeah. So yeah, I was a gacha tuber at one point.
What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
That is the old mail chata that I used to do before I decided to redo the whole thing. And eventually forget about...
What is happening?
What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does it...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What does Y-E-S spell?
Are you?
Yes.
Are you hearing 2 voices? Hold on, let me check. Let me check. Let me check my stream real quick. This is so good. You exposed... What? That's crazy. Stay safe, bro. Yeah. You're... My God! Can anything go right? Shut it! Shut it. Oh my God. Ah. Not funny. Not funny. I even see you on Discord. Shut it. Don't make me time you guys out. Don't make me time you guys out. I swear to God. I swear to God. Okay. So. Hold up. Popular MMOs is back? Hold up. What? That's the news. Oh, why is there noise on Discord? Someone help him being threatened. Dude. Hold up. Popular MMOs is back. He is? My goodness. Well, good for him. Good for him. Minecraft YouTuber. Hold up. Hold up. This is a rare find. The characters of LPS and its remake. Oh, okay.
Hey guys, Harley Pinky here, and I'm back after Jesus Christ! Okay, well it hasn't been that long since I've been online. If you missed it, I made a cameo appearance in a video by a good friend of mine. A really well-made look at Sonic 3. It's a bit off topic from my usual video content, but hey.
Wait, am I able to, like... Hold up. What? Okay. Before we start this certain video, has anyone ever heard of LPS Popular? Well, thank you. Thank you for saying you loved my art. Thank you. Okay. Has no one seriously heard of LPS Popular? Okay. Whatever.
Hey guys, Harley Pinky here, and I'm back after.
So basically, it's an
Christ.
LPS series.
Okay, well,
that
it
was
hasn't
super
been that
popular
long
on the
since I've been
internet.
Online. If you missed it, I made a cameo appearance in a video by a good friend of mine. A really well-made look at Sonic 3. It's a bit off-topic from my usual video content, but hey, so is today's video. I highly recommend you check it out, and even subscribe to him. Anyways, what am I talking about today?
My god, there's so many flashes.
Littlest Pet Shop Popular. Okay.
Yeah, Littlest Pet Shop.
As
They're
much as I
basically
wish I
like a
did,
toy
I
brand.
didn't grow up with this series like many other people have. A lot of based popular enjoyers have nostalgia from watching this YouTube LPS web series from when they were a kid. While I don't have the same nostalgia for this drama show, I do happen to heavily enjoy character discussion, and Popular's characters are no exception from sparking discussion. There's a
Hi.
reason this random Littlest Pet Shop series still gets fan art, animations, and the likes today.
My
Like, for
God.
example, an entire remake, which is another thing we'll be talking about today. I want to just talk about the amazing characters from the original LPS Popular, made by Sophie GTV, and its just as wonderful
Yeah.
remake, LPS Popular Remake, by MLP Fever. Just a couple of things before we begin. One, I'm not trying to say that one series is better than the other. I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses unique to each other, and I'm just here to talk about the characters. Despite one being a remake of the other, they're both standalone projects, and I only wanted to cover both in one video because I have the same fascination with both tellings.
Is there a
Think
way
of these two
to
series as a
screen
manga
share?
or an anime adaptation that took the source material and decided to tell
while
its own take
still
on the
online?
story. 2. This is not a recap or retrospective. We'll be going in full spoiler territory out of necessity. So
Yeah,
series,
flashbacks.
go watch
This is
both
a
shows
rare
if you wanna
find
get
on
most
my
out of this video.
feed.
If you're looking for a
This is on my
people like
account, by the
Shums,
way.
Lula Loopsy, Jazzy Ann, and many more have made great videos covering just that. 3.
Yeah.
I'll just be talking about the shared main characters between stories, but I might bring up side characters here and there.
What?
Also, at the time of writing, LPS Popular Remake only has 2 seasons, season 3 being worked on as I write this, so I'll probably avoid bringing up stuff from it for now. 4. Lastly, because I'm talking about the original Popular, there will be mentions of a few upsetting subjects, namely eating disorders and pet abuse. These are important parts of the main characters' complexes, so I can't just not talk about them, but I won't go into too much detail. I'm not an expert on said serious subject matter, so I'll keep things brief. Just thought I'd have a small warning. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's talk about everyone's favorite Mean Girls x Euphoria x Hasbro Toyline TV show, LPS Popular. So where better to start first than our girl, our catty heron, our main character, Savannah Reed, or Savvy for short. Before we start talking about Savvy, let me just say this. There are lots of events that she goes through that I feel like would be better talking about in depth with the other characters in the series. So if it sounds like I'm skimming through some of the most important events, trust me, we'll get to them and their impact. In her childhood, Savannah's best friend was Brooklyn Hayes. They were inseparable until Brooke had to move away in an unfortunate turn of events. Since then, it left a deep hole in Savvy's heart. The two had promised to be best friends forever, so it's right to assume she holds Brooklyn in the same regards as family, or even more so. Understanding this aspect of Savannah is very important to her character in both series. Brooklyn was a friend who was so important to her. This is the root reason as to why she does all these actions within the series. Thankfully, at the start of our story, we learn that Sav might have a chance at rekindling her friendship with Brooke. She and her family are moving, and she's about to attend Orange County Day Academy, the same school where her long-lost friend attends. One thing I find interesting about Savannah is that she's very trusting up to a certain point. She fully believes that her and Brooke's friendship can be mended. After her friends Jenny and Lena help her around the school, she basically spends the rest of the series with them. And then there's this iconic bit.
Hey, nice glasses. Why, thank you. I wasn't serious.
It all plays into this vibe early Savvy has of being sort of innocent. And as we progress in the series, you'll see less and less of it. In both series, the moment where Brooke tells Savannah off in the hallway absolutely destroys her. Combined with being in a new location,
Also
a
that
new
audio
school,
quality.
and now seeing her previously known BFF treat her like she doesn't
Look,
even know her,
let's just
it
say
rocks
that
her world.
this
Everything
creator
Sav
was
expected
trying.
was thrown on its head in this very moment. Savannah is still clinging on to the idea of Brooke being different as a sort of prank or a joke she's pulling. She's coping now. This is a hard cope. But let's
Yep.
talk about why this affects Savannah so much. First of all, we know why Savvy holds Brooke in such a high regard. But I also think her behavior has something to do with her wanting to cling on to something familiar, someone she already knew. The fact everything was lined up perfectly, only to be swept right under the Dawson's paws. It really nails how hard this event hits for her, and we see it affect her more and more as the series goes on. Our main girl, Sav, figures her next move is to strike back, though it's her friends who funnel this idea into her head. They both help give her a makeover, giving us what I would argue is one of, if not the most iconic LPS look ever. I mean, hell yeah, I love it too. Check it out, I drew her on my Poketch. Anyways, this is the new Savannah. And along with her outstanding looks, she's also taken on a brand new personality. She's going to stand up to Brooke. She's going to make the whole school go crazy for her. And she's going to win the heart of any boy she wants. That boy, however, kinda sorta just so happens to be Brooke's boyfriend. Savannah has her eyes on Sage Bond, who we'll talk more in depth on later. But back on track here, with the help of her friends, it seems like Savannah was able to take that sadness and turn it into motivation to be more outgoing and confident in herself. With this newfound popularity, Brooklyn Hayes,
Brother,
who
I don't know
remembers
how
at
to
the top
screen
of the
share.
school's food chain, now sees Savannah as even more of a threat to her reputation than before. And Brooke isn't afraid to play dirty to get Savannah off her back. Brooke gets her posse of popular girls, Rachel and Alicia, to help her in various schemes to knock Savannah down, including squirting pen ink all over her face, telling lies to her about the whole school, and most effectively, throwing insults at her, directing them towards her body. These insults stick around Savannah's head to the point where she starts taking them to heart, fearing that she needs to change herself due to her weight. What's worse is that she starts rejecting food and help from others altogether. Savannah knows this is wrong, and a terrible way to treat her body, but as Brooke persists, so does she. But Savannah doesn't just take this lying down. She's going to do whatever she can to keep her popularity in check. When Brooke passes lies throughout the entire school, it almost seems that Sav can't recover. Sage believes what Brooke said, and so things are over for them in every sense. Everybody is talking about her, saying she has embarrassing rashes, claiming she wants to kiss every boy in the school, even saying she's
A
a
hippopotamus?
honey. She's a goddamn rhino. Savannah comes back practically owning it, making herself even more popular. She even starts to hook up with a new cute boy, Tom Dawson.
You smell.
Sage tries to apologize for being an ass, but it's too little too late for Savannah. New Savannah doesn't take shit like that. So that is the last straw for Brooke. Her next plan is going to be her most insane yet. She's going to ruin Savannah's life. Get ready to hear this term a lot throughout the
Dude,
video
she's
because it's
leaving you
time for the
alone
party of
now.
the century. Held at where else but Brooke's absolute mansion of a house. It's here I want to highlight how Savannah has already changed. With this newfound confidence boost and popularity, she's becoming less and less like her old self, pushing her friends to join her in getting makeovers. Savannah and Brooke's rivalry is getting serious. So Sav and her friends show up and absolutely steal the show with their angel costumes.
Copy.
And I'm going to be paraphrasing this event a little, but only because I'll be bringing it up so often in the future. Just trust me when I say it's one of the most important cornerstones of the series. Anywho, things are going well for Savannah. She has her boyfriend, she's matching costumes with her besties, she gets to rub Brooke's face in her popularity, her boyfriend just disappeared upstairs for an extended period of time. Wait, what? Savannah, after finding this out by asking around, runs after Tom, only to find him making out with Brooke. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. She takes off sobbing, with the intent of finding her friends and leaving, when she runs into Sage. At this point,
Pause. I forgot that part. I forgot it. Oh God. Here's the link to the video of what I'm watching. My God. Oh. Where are we supposed? Well, you guys keep distracting me, and I also got distracted. So yeah, we doing something different. Also, this this live is called Audio Dork is Live. So yeah, shut it. You know you love it. Yeah, I do. A bit. Okay, back to what we were
Sage
doing.
and Savannah have a rocky relationship, but it seems like Sage is willing to apologize for being rude, and Savannah is willing to forgive him. She's not doing too well, and he can see that, so the two go somewhere private to talk. Savannah, who saw Tom clearly cheat on her, then gets all kissy smoochy with Sage. As they share a moment of both being fed up
And
with
he's
Brooke's
still
shit,
in a relationship
as well as
too.
make up with each other. Until Brooke catches them.
Damn!
We then get the big four-way confrontation scene. Again, we'll discuss this much more in depth later, but as for Savannah's side of things, she gets her face clawed by Brooke for kissing her boyfriend, and then her and Sage slow dance, and he takes her home. This is probably a good time to talk about Savannah's relationship with her parents. Her mom gives pretty clear-minded advice, and her dad seems fine too. A little more absent since his promotion was the reason the plot even starts, but they're both very supportive of Savannah. Anyway, Savvy and Sage are together officially now, and after the party, Brooke is out of the picture. So Savannah takes this whole thing as a W. At the start of season 2, life is
What
going
kind
well
of
for
squares?
Savannah. She
I
beat
don't
the
know.
hippo allegations, has a hot new boyfriend, and officially crushed her biggest friend turned enemy into dust. On top
Damn.
of all this, she's the most popular girl in school. But don't worry, things are about to start heating up once more.
Oh,
Sage
no.
is hanging out with this new girl, Brigitte, and after a bit of time passes, Brooklyn is back in school. Our titular dog finds an intimidating note on her locker threatening her and Sage's relationship. And with two options of who could have written it, one old and one new, Savannah's life has once again spun into drama. Brigitte, by the
Damn.
way, is Sage's friend that he knew from childhood, who he insists he has no romantic feelings for. This doesn't stop Savannah from thinking the worst, however, and I don't...
Why does this sound like one of those AI stories? Eternal Diary or whatever. Like, what the fuck? Doesn't have feelings, my ass. Why does it sound like that? Huh? Excuse me, sir? Oh, God. Breath of the Wild. Why are we talking about Zelda? Let's just continue.
I don't blame her. After the huge confrontation involving Brooke, Sage,
This is an
cheating,
out-
lies, bribes, and much...
This is a 1 hour video. My goodness. Damn. The lore goes that deep, huh?
and much more, I can 100% understand why she'd be skeptical of this new girl popping out of nowhere and hanging out with her boyfriend. When skating one day, Savannah stumbles upon a lost cricket. Oh, the crickets are their pets. Even though... Wait, stop me if you heard this one before. Savannah takes the cricket home and cares for it, tending to its wounds it's gotten and feeding it. And it takes a liking to her. So, she adopts her and calls her Mimi. Mimi really, really likes Savannah. She follows her everywhere and whines when she leaves for school. If only there was some way to both attend class and keep her pet happy. This is the worst decision Savannah has ever made, because Brooklyn is done messing around. It turns out Mimi is actually Brooke's cricket named Gigi who ran away from her. Oops. Brooke snatches the cricket in her arms and tries to leave, much to Savannah's shock. And as the confrontation continues, Mimi chooses to stay with Savannah instead of Brooke. But things don't end here. When Savannah is alone, Brooke attacks her, and when she retaliates...
Oh!
So Savannah's parents don't let her keep Mimi after figuring out the cricket belongs to Brooke. And now they're being charged. This is the start of rock bottom for Savannah. Grounded is an understatement. Upon basically not being allowed out of her house, her phone has been taken away so she can't contact her friends. Her confidence is at an all-time zero, her relationship is in jeopardy, both because of mysterious anonymous threats and this new girl who's awfully close to Sage. The pet she cared for is now under ownership of her worst enemy, everyone thinks she tried to kill Brooke, and the sly cat is not only plotting revenge, but also planning to sue her family. Anything else? Oh yeah, and her mom loses her job. This is so much at once that it starts to make Savannah sick. Savannah bros, I don't think we can thug it out of this one. There are points where Sav tries to patch things up with Brooke, but to no avail. I mean, This is after she literally put her in the hospital, so little late for that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that Brooklyn does not feel the same way in the slightest. She's ready to make Savannah's life a living hell no matter the cost. As of now,
Yeah, they're
this is
fighting
where
over a
Savannah's
cricket
story ends.
and
We
fighting with
see
each
her
other
rise
for
from
no
the
reason.
bottom to the top, and then down lower than she was before. Savannah's feelings about herself rise and fall with her status. In the beginning, she was fine with who she was, but after being knocked down by Brooke and having her dreams crushed, she strove for nothing but to rise above her. And as the two unstoppable forces collide, she worsens herself to be better. Blinded by popularity, she starts acting unlike herself, and suddenly it all catches up to her at once. Her status, however, isn't as much a detriment to her as her own confidence is. Remake Savannah. Just like in the original, we...
Hold up. Chada? Who the heck bringing up Chada? Okay. So before we continue, this part of the video is basically a remake. I think I saw the remake once. And yeah.
Remake Savannah. Just like in the original, we start with her friendship with Brooke at a young age. They meet again in Orange County. Then Brooke tells her off and it rocks her world. But there's something different about Savannah's reaction this time around. She takes this very personally, bursting into tears during both the initial rejection and later confirmation. Instead of just being bewildered and distraught, she gives off a more desperate, "No, we can make this work" vibe. I mean, she took it before, but something about this rejection strikes Savannah as personal. Like, deep inside, she wants to keep catching up to Brooke's level and continue involving herself in her life. Without giving too much away about Brooke right now, she's more understanding. By all means, she's still rude, but in comparison, she definitely lets Savannah down a little easier, and that's mostly all Brooklyn does to Savannah. If Savannah kept to herself from here on out, sticking with her new friends and not trying to chase the popular girl dream, I don't think Brooklyn would ever speak to her again, let alone bully her. For now, Sav's friends help her get a makeover because Lena is goddamn rich, and this new look captures the attention of Sage Bond, who is still Brooke's boyfriend. The two work on a project for class together, and when Brooke catches word of this, she is absolutely livid. Savannah, at this point, knows Sage is with Brooke, but does nothing to stop herself. The two get closer with Savvy casually flirting with him. You can see the seeds of corruption taking place here, and very soon he'll begin to overtake her completely. The next day, Brooke strikes back by writing a note to make Savannah look like a stalker to the school, and to get Sage off her tail. But this backfires when Sage figures out Brooke's scheme, and calls her out for it right in front of the very crowd she was trying to build. Seeing Brooke storm off in rage awakens something inside Savannah. She tries to push it aside, but the feeling she gets of winning over Brooke is one of satisfaction and triumph. The popularity has already started to overtake her, and it even shows most of all in the party of the century. Savannah coaxes Sage to come with her to Brooke's party just to show him off. Savannah sees this event as a victory lap for herself, as shown in how she brags about it to her friends here. There starts to be a disconnect between Savannah and her friends, and by now, I'm sure you can see where it's going. This is one of my favorite things about Savannah. Remake takes our two favorite girls and flip-flops them. Savannah beginning to adopt Brooke's harsh nature, and Brooke now on the receiving end, not really fighting back. This is where Savannah gets most interested.
Hold on. They are actually cooking. They're actually cooking. I like this. I like this. You zoned out. Wow. Wow. Okay. Whatever. Okay.
Interesting. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we can learn more about what made Brooklyn so mean through Savannah's own eyes. She's about to learn that being popular is not all it's cracked up to be. This is something I wish was a little more fleshed out, but we don't entirely get to see all the aftermath of the party. Instead, we skip ahead a little, to see Savannah has already started hanging out with Rachel and Alicia, Brooke's gang. I like to think that they just realized Brooke was now considered lame, and Savannah was the closest thing to who Brooke originally was. It's from here on out that Savvy starts to plan to be better than Brooke, which is going to be a lot harder than she thought. Trying to keep her grades up becomes nearly impossible. Savannah is convinced by her friends to run for homecoming queen. She has to keep her popularity up by continuing to appear glamorous.
And as school starts getting harder to focus on, her grades start slipping. Her relationship with Sage is also getting worse and worse, as there's so much on Savannah's plate that she even forgets to attend dates with him. By trying to have it all, the exact opposite occurs, and the harder she tries to pursue Brooke's imaginary high score, the harder she fails. But she's in too deep now. No, there's no going back. Even with her life, her relations, her grades, and herself falling apart, she cannot fathom doing the one thing that could put a stop to all of this, making amends.
Okay, I see what they're going for. That is actually really good. That's really good. That is actually some good writing there. Making them switch is actually so good. Like, the consequences, perfect. The actual writing of these two actually switching sides, wow. My goodness.
Amends with Brooke. Nearing the end of the season, Savannah decides on a master plan to get her grades back up. As if the stars align, she finds an opening to waltz right into Brooke's house, steal her assignment, and claim it's her own. Said opening was only caused by Brooke and Sav's other friends trying to reach out and talk things through. Instead, Savannah uses this opportunity to deceive everyone, putting all her eggs in one basket to steal this project. It all comes crashing down when one after another, everything Savannah's built up is shattered due to her actions. And when it comes time to do the final deed, she can't bring herself to. She admits to stealing right there and is escorted out of the classroom. After this, we're told Savannah was grounded for a very long time, and she fully drops the popular girl act. In what's a long-awaited scene for both fans of the original and the remake, Savannah and Brooke set aside everything that's happened in a very big moment of maturity for both of them. Come on, you see that thumbnail, you know where things are going.
Okay. I see it. Okay. Stopping the fight. Stop fighting over ridiculous shit. And actually maturing is actually a really good thing. I like the remake. I gotta admit it. I like the remake. It sounds good. Okay. Look. Lesbians, let's go. Let's go. A lesbian plot. Woo.
These girls are in love, but like many things with Savannah, it's complicated. Let's enter season 2 with the premise that these characters are now attending college, stepping their paws into the real world. Things are starting to get serious. We're beyond the playground insults of high school, the stakes are higher, and choices matter. Honestly though, Savannah comes off as if that hasn't entirely settled in for her. Our main cast discovers that Brooke has changed her Furbook profile picture after spending time in Paris, but it's not just a normal photo update. This time, Brooke is with a boy, deducing that this must be because Brooke has a boyfriend. This misconception is the driving force behind all of Savvy's actions in season 2. Because when this idea is brought up,
instead of asking,
Savannah gets very standoffish, claiming that Brooke
one
is
of
doing the thing she did
one
in
of the
high
most
school
pet
again,
peeve tropes I
replacing her.
have.
She can't wait for her to get home, but to her detriment, Brooke had a great time in France and is ready to talk all about it, especially about the boy she met. Savannah is overcome with jealousy, and it's this jealousy that leads her to dating Tom Dawson. Tom approaches Savannah and tries to treat her to breakfast after their first class. It's obvious he's interested in her. But since she's supposedly the only one in her friend group without a partner, she decides, why not? We'll give it a shot. This mentality remains true with how Savannah feels about Tom for the whole series. She is very obviously unsure about Tom, and her chemistry is much clearer with Brooke.
And there's obviously nothing wrong with that. Savannah is still trying to figure out her emotions. She's scared of something happening between her and Brooke again. She's scared that listening to her heart instead of her head will put her on the wrong path. She's scared that she won't be able to convince herself that what she has isn't what she wants. And clearly copes with her surroundings by repeating to herself over and over that this is what she really desires. Savannah does not listen to herself, and that puts her in a position of blatant denial. She knows deep inside she loves Brooke. She feels it every time she looks at her, every time she thinks about her with Briac, and she pushes it away. Time and time again, she forgoes the freedom of being true to herself. Savannah then sees Tom as a sort of escape. She sees her relationship with Tom as what she's supposed to want. Savannah is terrified of giving her own emotions acknowledgement. Fear of what could happen to her and Brooke, especially when she's deep into the relationship with Tom as well, has Savannah just shut down and go with whatever is given to her. And what is given to her? Well, the most driving force throughout the conflict is Tom. Tom is a guy who contrasts Savannah in that he knows what he wants. Tom separates himself from Sage in that you can really tell there's no moral ambiguity going on here. He's not into Savannah for her looks alone. He wants to commit to her, and at no point does he force her into doing anything without her own commitment first. Tom just wants to make Savannah happy, and Savannah continuously lies both to him and herself, pretending to be content, pretending to want her future to be with Tom. Tom and Brooke have this in common. They can only know what Savannah tells them. Even though she's so obviously lying to herself, both Tom and Brooke are under the assumption this is what Savannah wants. Savannah is scared of the very future she is making for herself by simply disregarding her true feelings. This is a snowball of consequences, with its rising action being Tom's proposal to Savannah at a whopping 4 months into the relationship, with Savannah needing to drop out of college as well. Yes, it goes without saying, this is insanely unrealistic, but Tom should not be seen as having forceful intentions with this action. This is something she is clearly not ready for, nor something she wants, but upon seeing Brooke with her supposed boyfriend again, she accepts, and says the fabled yes to a man that she doesn't even love. At this point, Savannah knows she's in too deep, so she relies on her parents to get her out of this mess. But because she convinces them this is what she wants, and since Tom is such a charmer, they both fully support their marriage. One last thing on this subject is that support for Savannah is not obscure. Jenny is basically there for her at all times, almost forcing her help onto Savannah. Being a psychology major, it's clear she knows why Savannah acts the way she does. The jealousy, the false happiness, and all the other feelings that she only exerts about Brooklyn. Savannah has the world's best therapist right beside her at all times, and it's still not enough to bring her to admit her feelings. I think that just goes to show how strong Savannah's feelings for Brooke truly are. Savannah Reed, at the end of the day, is a character who serves to warn us the important lesson that we all forget sometimes. Be true to yourself, accept help, and don't ignore your personal needs. I think this moral can go for both Savvies, actually. It's definitely something important
Ain't
to
that
remember.
true?
And Savannah's journey can honestly be seen as both a warning and inspiration for what it means to recognize yourself, how important it can be, and the trouble that can befall both you and your close ones if you ignore yourself. To end this segment off, Brooklyn and Savannah belong together, and in the end, I'm glad they got there. Savannah does not belong with Tom, and it's crushing to watch her just try to convince herself over and over that she does. It hurts to watch Tom be fooled by Savannah's words that he thinks are genuine. It hurts to see Brooklyn's face every time that Savannah and Tom get closer, knowing the truth about how she feels about Savannah. And most of all, it hurts to see Savannah dig herself into a hole for a second time. But that's what makes this ending feel so deserved. Savannah and Brooke are finally together. After so many years of not seeing each other, after so much they had to go through, after so much back and forth, and not once did one leave the other's mind. Savannah in Remake is such a complex character who goes through both sides. And honestly, I could probably do a whole video essay just on her alone. Genuinely, I cannot wait for what Season 3 has in store for her and Brooke. Alright, everybody, quiet down. Get
Oh, no.
serious.
Oh no.
Because a literal legend has just entered the building.
Oh!
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. In this world, you're either a savvy simp or a Brooke bro. And I'm a Brooke bro. I'm a Brooke bastard, if you will. She's easily my favorite of the two, and this is coming from a dog person. But why? What makes this frisky feline floozy with zero surface level redeeming qualities so great? To me, at least. Well, for starters, I think there's much more to Brooke than Savannah. Hence why we use the majority of her portion to recap story events. Now that you have the context, we're just going to jump right into Brooke's character. Mean, controlling, scheming. These are all words used to describe Brooke Hayes, the most popular girl in OCD. Someone who always gets what she wants. Her main game is manipulation. She comes off as nice to people, but only long enough for her to get her way. Brooke's skill set of girl bossness includes crying on command by thinking about her old pet cricket dying, using her looks to get homework answers from boys around the school, and gaslighting people into thinking whatever leaves her mouth. Brooke blatantly cheats on her boyfriend Sage, and for a majority of the series, sees him as more of an item to have to her name than a genuine love interest. But her loose lips don't just stop there. She more specifically cheats with her friends' boyfriends, outright admitting to Rachel that very fact with her boyfriend Nathan. When Savannah approaches Brooke for the first time,
She does so with expectations of them reuniting. And Brooklyn takes those expectations and turns them on their head, flamethrowers them, and then spits in Savannah's face for good measure. Brooke rose to the top of the school all on her own, and she isn't going to let anybody tarnish her reputation of being the baddest bitch to walk this earth. When Brooke sees her perfect world is met with a threat, she will do anything in her power to take it down. So later on, when Savannah strikes back, gaining a crowd around herself, Brooke retaliates. She isn't just going to stand by while somebody steals her spotlight. So she starts bullying Savannah right to her face, body-shaming her. She also spreads lies to the school about how she's gross and deceptive and a wicked pooch. Brooke isn't just dismissive of who she despises, she's also controlling of who she's close to. Sage, for example, she constantly talks about how she basically owns him and can get him to do whatever she wants. She's also smooching on him like 24/7. It's another topic in its entirety how much kissing is in this series. Her friends, Rachel and Alicia, she treats like minions to do her bidding. Ultimately, to her, they're replaceable. She's always quick to correct them if they don't think the same way as her on something. So what happens when Brooke isn't in control of the crowd? She kinda doesn't know what to do. While she succeeds at getting Sage out from Savannah's paws and back into her own, Savannah finds a new sweetheart, and pretty soon the two start overtaking her in popularity. This reaches a peak when Tom proposes for Savvy to be his girlfriend on the lunchroom table. Not wanting this to happen, Brooke grabs Sage and starts forcefully making out with him until they accidentally fall into a tray of pudding. So naturally, her next move is to endanger Savannah's life. Brooklyn hosts the party of the century. A secret plan to completely decimate the competition by gaslighting Savannah into thinking Tom was cheating on her, then put her in danger of being blinded, using permanent black dye, hair removal cream, and raw eggs. Hashtag just girl things. But Brooke is turned on by her comrades and boyfriend when they all find out that they're sick and tired of her bullshit and attitude. And after witnessing her sole enemy dance with her now ex-boyfriend during their song of their 3rd anniversary, it's over, Brooke Bros. She breaks down in a total fit and yells for everyone to leave. Through Brooke's eyes, Savannah has shown up and taken everything from her. Her boyfriend, her status, her grip on the school. Brooke is left at her lowest by the end of season 1. To top it all off, her pet cricket runs away. So you can imagine how enraged she would be when days later, she sees her with Savannah. Savannah has everything Brooke doesn't, a loving family, supportive friends, and for what Brooke does have, Savannah takes that for herself too. After the big fight scene, Brooke ends up in the hospital, and while she plans to enact her revenge on Savannah, she has time to really reflect on what she had and what she's missing. You can tell she's thinking about Sage differently here, almost like she was brought down to earth, and now she realizes she appreciated Sage more than she thought. Thinking about how good he made her feel, perhaps even thinking about how bad she made him feel. This is a very rare moment where Brooke isn't picturing herself above everyone. She isn't being demanding to those around her. She's focused on one thing. She wants Sage back. Maybe it's because she figured out she cares for him.
You lost your chance, buddy. Girl. This is a case of appreciate what you have before it's too late. It's already too late.
For him. But it's most likely because she wants the way he made her feel back in her life. What? I said she's a good character, not a good person. That much is definitely clear. But the thing that makes Brooke so interesting is that there's a catalyst for the way she acts. Brooke's mom. Since her father died, Brooklyn lives practically alone. Her mother, we'll just call her Miss Hayes, is perhaps one of the worst moms in all of fiction. Like, ever. She's barely around, and when she is, she's bombarded with phone calls, which she never fails to prioritize over her daughter. Just when you think they're about to connect,
Hold on. Hello?
and she just gives her her credit card. Go buy yourself something pretty, Brooke. It's very frustrating. On top of this, Miss Hayes is also very judgmental towards her daughter, straight up calling her fat for eating ice cream. We see that this heavily affects Brooke because she acts in a completely different way than we've ever seen before. She's intimidated and doesn't even speak up to her mom. Miss Hayes' questionable parenting reflects on Brooke deeply, though. Think about it. Her materialistic mindset got it from her mom, leaving her with practically everything she wants. The way she insults Savannah with her extremely harmful personal words is her projecting from words her mother used on her. Her mother's neglectful nature also shows in the way Brooke treats her pet cricket, Gigi. She leaves her out in the rain, talking to her only to show off like an audience. It's so easy to write off Brooke as outlandish and psychotic, but all of her traits can be traced back to her mother and her horrible parenting. Maybe that's why she's so dismissive of Savannah, the only person who's ever shown a true friendship. To Brooke, it's scary and lame. Friendship didn't bring her all the way to the top, power did. And power temporarily makes her feel good. So she's constantly conniving and outbursting at others. It makes me scared to think that may have came from her mother too. The conclusions Brooke draws as a character are indeed insane. The lengths she goes to and the fiendish nature of her words can come off as cartoonish levels of villainy. But the recipe is there for how she got to be this way. I think Brooke is a much deeper character than Savannah, and that's why I like her more. I love a character you can look in depth into. Also, she's just an icon. I love ridiculous characters with no redeeming qualities. I learn more about Remake Brooke every time I rewatch.
Okay. When I first watched the series of LPS Popular, I hated Brooke so much, but when they put it in that note, and I'm coming back to it a bit from this video, it makes a lot more sense why she did the shit she did. Wait, what are you guys talking about? Never mind.
You watch this series.
Remake
Fever did
time.
an excellent job with making her dialogue, because there's more I appreciate about her every watch through. I'll be upfront. On completing season 1, for the first time of course, I thought Brooke was just a less mean take on the original. And that was that. She still follows the same structure as before. But we see, despite her still being mean, she isn't heartless. The first time Brooke shows this is when she tells Savannah to meet her after lunch to talk to her. This is where she lets her down that the two can't be friends anymore. But because Brooke knows Savvy missed lunch because of this, she brings her something to eat. However, after Sage starts getting interested in Savannah, Brooke turns up the heat. She tries to devise a plan that will make Savannah look bad and have Sage crawling back to her. In the original, Brooke did this using various playground insults and the like, but this time, she writes a note and frames Savannah for writing it. The note reads as if Savannah is admitting a crush on Brooke, who tries to play this as stalking or even bizarre behavior. But Sage calls her out for this obvious setup. It seems like he knows when she's lying. And shortly after, Sage breaks things off with Brooke properly before starting to date Savannah. At this point, Brooke is overcome with anger, and her emotions start to get the better of herself. The party of the century begins, and Brooke has her plan to humiliate Savannah that would have definitely gotten way out of hand. Luckily, Rachel and Alicia are good people, and warn Savannah before the plan goes through. This time, Savannah is going to confront Brooke face to face, and just seeing her there, standing in her room, is enough to set Brooke totally off. Threatening her, Brooke and Savannah stand off against each other for a moment, yelling their personal feelings at each other. Brooklyn cries out, "I hate you!" When asked why by her rival, her enemy, she replies, "Because I love you!" She always has. Unfortunately for Brooke, Savannah is not just going to forget her feelings built throughout the story. She uses this false sense of security to gain the upper hand over Brooke, revealing her words to the rest of the cast. Now we jump ahead a little since the party. Brooke is no longer the queen of the school. She started focusing on her studies, playing video games, and wearing her old glasses. She used to wear these before she became popular, but I also like to think the glasses are a metaphor for her life having more clarity. We can assume these are things she used to do before taking her first steps into the popular girl world. Now she's an outcast, a nerd, someone nobody approaches, as if the whole school flipped on a dime and forgot about her. When referring to the incident at the party in the future, Brooke says the words she said she didn't mean, that they were a result of her awful headspace at the time. I think it's important to bring up, because characters in the future won't really refer back to this incident, and when they do, this is the canon explanation for that reason.
Okay. Noticing someone is asking about something during the live. Hold on. Okay. Video link. There you go. That's what I'm watching currently. I'm just too invested, my guy. I'm invested. I'm invested, bro. This guy is making this seem like a lot more sense. What? How am I giving you? You've been ignored. I'm invested in this video. I'm sorry, but you guys ain't my kids, bro. I'm not a mother. I can't I can't pay 24/7.
Savannah is not budging on wanting to talk things through, even when her old friends reach out to Brooke, wanting to help the two solve their differences.
Correction. They just watching, guys.
Brooke starts to enjoy hanging out with Jenny and Lena, I feel. We see her and Lena in particular start to bond over their love for retro video games. I think this is a big factor that plays into the end of Season 1, where even after everything Savannah has done to Brooke, she still forgives her, because being knocked out of her toxic popular mindset is exactly what she needed. We see how awful the upkeep of popularity makes Savannah by the end of the season. We can assume these feelings are what Brooke was dealing with as well, for even longer. Brooke knows what popularity does to a girl. She's lived through it, and that's why she forgives Savannah in the end. And, because she's totally in love with her. And let's talk about that a little more. Remember the note Brooke wrote, pretending it was from Savannah? It doesn't take a lot to figure out that that was all projection. It was really how Brooke felt about Savannah all along. Another line of dialogue I'd like to highlight: when Savannah is explaining to Brooke the reason she's in Los Angeles is because her dad got a promotion similar to Brooke's mom, Brooke says,
"Screw that damn company for trying to ruin my life twice."
The first time, we can infer, was the day she moved away from Savannah. The second, when she came back into Brooke's life. When Brooke explains her and Savannah's backstory to Jenny and Lena, she notes that when she
Brother, it is 11:13. Chill out.
transferred schools, she was bullied, made fun of, and even stolen from. It was lonely and spiteful. And perhaps this is the reason Brooke is so protective of her status at the beginning of the story. She also constantly stops herself in this conversation before giving away too much information, mostly when talking about how she was worried about Savannah, or the way her mother doesn't quite care about her. In Season 2, I think there's a reason why Brooke is so trusting and caring when it comes to her new friend Briac. When she goes to Paris, Briac is there for her when nobody else is to guide her through this brand new environment. He's doing the same thing that Savannah did all those years ago, that Jenny and Lena did in the events of Season 1. And now she knows how to cherish that kind of helpful friendliness that doesn't come around often. It makes so much sense for her to keep in touch with Briac so frequently after leaving France, because Brooke has already gone through that separation with a close friend once before. But another reason is because Brooke and Briac are in the same situation of being in love with their best friend. Brooke talks to Briac so frequently because it's a way for her to cope. In fact, if you translate what she's saying in these calls, she's actually talking to Briac about her deepest feelings concerning Savannah and Tom's situation. She's watching her best friend that she loves, right before her very eyes, date and soon even marry someone else. She knows that if this path is what makes Savannah happy, there's nothing she can do. She also knows that these feelings of love towards Savannah will never go away. She's felt them all her life, since they were kids, when they moved away, when she came back and became her worst enemy, till the present. And this feeling is what's been making Brooke so emotional throughout all these years. She loves Savannah and she can't deny it. Too scared to say something in case it ruins her friendship. Not wanting to stray her best friend from the path that she desires herself. And the only other person she's ever told about these feelings was her mother. Her mother who shunned her for it and practically told her to never speak to her again. This is most likely why Brooke acts the way she does towards Savannah in the first episode. And with all these conflicting forces at play, all these confusing feelings, and Brooke just wanting to be happy with the love of her life, it all makes sense, her every action. Except maybe the hair removal cream. But hey, we still gotta have some of that psycho energy, right? She's not Brooklyn Hayes without it. Jokes aside, this rendition of the character is honestly so beautiful. Her story and struggle makes me excuse the points of the story where she was mean. Was she ever really that mean to begin with? Brooke is such a fantastic character, and understanding why she is the way she is makes me feel all the more happy for her and Savannah by the end. And after connecting the dots, I can safely say that Brooke is my favorite character in the whole remake. Sage Bond, the dreamboat, the captain of the football team, and every girl's
Not
major
this
crush.
motherfucker.
Sage is a little hard to talk about separately. I think we'll get more mileage out of his character first if we talk about his relationships with Brooke and Savannah respectively. So in the beginning, Sage is Brooklyn Hayes' boyfriend. They do casual boyfriend-girlfriend things like smooch in the lunchroom, and they've been together for about 3 years up to this point. Things seem all well and good on the outside, but we can gather little hints from Brooke's behavior that tells us that their relationship is not as stable as it seems. Brooklyn claims that she has Sage wrapped around her paw. She can get him to buy her stuff, and if she needs to convince him of anything, she'll practically control his mind by kissing him. If I could describe their relationship in one word, it would be superficial. Brooke almost treats Sage as an item, another tally to her name and fame. She certainly doesn't find their relationship important enough to be loyal to him, as we've talked about. But to be honest, Sage doesn't quite share that sentiment either. After Savannah's big makeover, Sage and her partner up to work on a project together. It's here where the two start messing around and laughing and even play flirting. Brooke was in no way a good girlfriend to Sage, but they're still in a commitment together. So the Sav-X-Sage ship in this part of the story is a bit morally questionable. Sage isn't hooking up with any other students for math questions or anything extreme like that, but he definitely has the hots for Savannah, and their behavior makes it clear. Side note, that's what I like about this show. Every character is morally questionable. There's discussion to be had on just about every action. Sage is a good example of this. Anyways, when Brooke notices Sage and Savannah getting along together, she makes up a bunch of lies about the Dawson to keep Sage away from her. This works, and the lies drive Akali away from Sav. I would say it's good that Sage trusts his girlfriend, but I also think it says more about him that he barely questions Savannah's innocence and breaks things off with her instantly. Sage is shown to fall right into Brooke's paws. He's easily manipulated, and tends to not think before acting. He also gets distracted easily. This episode came out 2 years after the Disney... Also gets distracted easily.
Hold on, what? What was that? What was that?
This episode, and tends to not think before acting. He also gets distracted easily. This episode came out 2 years after the Disney Pixar classic Up. Okay, so Sage isn't the brightest, and it takes him too little too late to realize those things about Savannah weren't true. Yeah, after he shrugged her off, he stopped working on the project with her. Sav has a right to be dismissive of him. A few days later, we get another example of Brooke treating Sage like an item, forcefully kissing him on the lunchroom table, trying to get attention back to her after Tom's proposal to Savannah. This obviously ends with the two flying into the tray of chocolate articles, making fools of themselves. This clearly upsets Sage, who's now thinking about Savannah more than ever. Sage is starting to really get bothered by the constant lip sharing with Brooke. This leaves their relationship very shaky and brings us to the party of the century. Brooklyn dips to enact phase 1 of the plan, and Sage asks the other Barbies of her whereabouts. Rachel informs him to go upstairs, where he sees the real Brooke on full display. The party's titular Cats insults and degrades a girl named Megan Collins to the point of tears. Sage isn't fazed by Brooke's attempts to woo him now. He isn't going to let what just happened be swept under the rug, and he delivers one of the coldest lines in the series.
What happened to the girl I knew?
She's right here.
Really? I don't see her.
He says he's going to leave, and in doing so, he runs into Savannah, devastated. The two realize they have some things they need to admit to each other, and find somewhere private to do so. As Sav vents her distress, Sage claims that he never should have listened to Brooke's hurtful lies, and reveals the reason he stuck with her so long was because he wanted to believe his girlfriend that he dated for 3 years was perfect. He was fooling himself, staying in a toxic relationship. He kept making excuses over and over for her sake. Maybe it's a dog thing, loyalty and all that. But I don't know, that sentiment doesn't quite line up with how easily Sage started paying attention to Savannah. How after they spent one afternoon together, he was pretty much ready to call it quits with Brooke and move on to Savvy. And again, in this very scene, he basically just broke things off with Brooke and is talking to Savannah. Savannah? Savannah? He basically just broke things off with Brooke and is talking to Savvy instantly. He apologizes to Savvy, and the two share another nice moment, bonding in their shared bad feelings, and then ayo! This leads to the confrontation, where Sage also learns about how Brooke's been kissing other guys, and more about Operation Fry the Sausage. All of this is enough to get Sage to officially break up with Brooke, leaving her for Savannah. This is where Season 2 starts, and from here on out, Sage-Vanna is canon. Then of course, we get into the Brigitte plotline. Sage sees Brigitte as a cousin, and his parents are letting her live at their house while she takes a semester in California. It's a little hard for Sage to read a room, but not that hard. He knows how this must come across to Savannah, and assures her nothing is going on between them. Sage understands Savvy's concerns, but I don't think he can really see the bigger picture at play. This can easily be seen in the episode after the party, where he can tell Savannah isn't eating right and decides to order something for her, coaxing her to actually eat while telling her boys don't want girls to stop eating. It's a sweet moment, and it shows that Sage does care about Savvy's health.
Hold on one sec. You sure about that? You sure about that, buddy? Because some guys do that. Some people even gaslight girls into doing that. Okay, that's too deep. Okay.
But it only ever happens in one scene, which kinda gives off the vibe that Sage thought this was a one and done deal. I don't want to undermine his initial concern, but yeah man, check on your girl. Back to the Brigitte thing, the two are seen suspiciously close way too often, and no matter what the reason is, it very reasonably makes Savannah uncomfortable. But after being confronted about it, he gets upset with both Sav and Brigitte. Like, dude, you could have avoided this. We also...
Yeah. Like, it's common fucking sense. Boundaries exist for a reason, buddy. That's called a relationship. Oh my god. Sage is okay, I don't mean me, Sage. I'm ashamed to share a name with this guy. But Sage is a fucking idiot. This guy, I swear to fuck.
We also hear claims that Sage is a girl chaser from Brooke and Brigitte. Though this was said by Brooke when she was trying to intimidate Savannah, and I don't know if I trust Brigitte. I actually believe this claim from a more credible source, Sage himself. In one episode, Savannah asks Sage how long he's loved her, and Sage confirms that it was really only after Savannah's makeover that he started to pay attention to her.
No way he just admitted that. No way he just admitted that. My dude, that's not a good thing to say to a girl. This guy just needs a break from relationships in general. What the fuck?
Sage is more driven by looks than who the person he's dating really is.
No shit! No shit!
After learning that, Sage and Savannah kind of feel artificial.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's not nearly as fake as Sage and Brooke's relationship, but still. I do believe that Sage at least somewhat cares for Savannah's well-being.
What? What's going on in Discord? Hold on, I closed the tab because it was going off while I was watching the video. Hold on, what? What's going on in Discord? What is going on in Discord? What is going on? For a second there, I thought something serious was going on. Why'd you mention Discord then? Sheesh. Got me worried there.
But there are things about him that really show his ignorance or incompetence. Like, I don't know, straight up telling your girlfriend that you only cared about her looks when you first met.
Looks might capture my attention, Savannah, but it's who you are inside that won my heart.
Sage is a character I flip-flop on. I want to root for him after remembering how Brooke treated him, but at the same time, he's made pretty rash decisions as well. I want to believe his words when he tells Savannah that he's genuinely in love with her. But with how fast he jumps from girl to girl, his actions tell a different story from his words.
Yeah.
He doesn't take enough time to really make sure his girlfriend is okay. Whether that be almost disregarding her ED aside from the initial mention, to living with another girl who you're not really related to.
Yeah.
He really doesn't seem to be the type of guy to think before he acts.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't sugarcoat it anymore. You're just kind of dumb sometimes, dude.
Yes.
Be a total biatch!
I remember that scene, and I was so fucking mad at that guy. Like, dumbass, you just called your girlfriend, an insecure girl, a total bitch. You don't do that. You don't do that to a girl who's insecure and who doesn't like you getting close to a girl who isn't even related to you and you're close to. Brother, that's common sense. Holy Okay, remake a Sage Bond.
Before talking about Remake Sage as a character, I first want to bring up his model. A few of the models in Remake are different from the original, which isn't a gripe or anything. In fact, I really like Sage's. I don't know the reason why Fever decided to use this one, but it works out really well. A lot of the cast of Season 1 are made out of browns and tans and yellows, making Sage unique by giving him this unmistakable snow-white fur. Not only makes him visually stand out, but also enforces the narrative of him being the showboat hottie. In this canon, Sage's mom left the family when Sage was young. This left him without any feminine guidance in his upbringing. Sage suffers from this by having a hard time understanding a woman's point of view. This is an important thing to keep in mind, as it explains a couple things about his interactions with Brooke and Savvy. Speaking of which, Brooke's relationship with Sage isn't nearly as manipulative in Remake. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. Brooke still does things like lying about where she's from, and just being mean in general, but here she's not kissing him against his will or cheating on him, or treating him like an object.
I only ever dated you so people would notice me.
Okay, never mind. We can learn from Brooke herself that she doesn't really care about Sage to begin with. To be honest, they're a terrible match for each other in Remake.
Yeah.
Both for subtle and obvious reasons. But just like in the original, Sage does imply making moves on Savannah before officially breaking up with Brooke. Actually, he seems more eager to talk to her here. I think that because of Sage's upbringing, it never occurs to him to talk about these relationship issues with Brooke to sort them out. I mean, I don't think Brooke would talk about their relationship so seriously to begin with, but my point still stands. He feels that Brooke isn't giving him enough attention, which is probably true. But because of this, he starts seeing Savannah and dating her instead without completely breaking things off with Brooke. We see him do the same thing later on to Savannah for Rachel. A more obvious quality of Sage's is how fast he goes from girl to girl. I don't think him breaking off with Savannah was unjust if you look at it from his perspective. She literally wasn't showing up to dates. But like, dang, dude is with Rachel already.
Damn, that was fast. He only dumped me a few weeks ago.
The aforementioned date scene is another example of him not really knowing how to talk to girls. To be honest, Sage and Savannah didn't really have a lot of chemistry. On Sage's side, he was a little too eager to get to know Savannah, while still being in a relationship himself. Only after the makeover, of course, did he notice her. Just like in the original. On Savannah's side, it also feels very artificial, because of scenes where she practically just wants to show Sage off to rub her victory in Brooke's face. Aside from a few cute moments, and a very good scene where Sage stands up for Savannah after Brooke is trying to make her look bad, I can't really think of a whole lot of moments where I see Savannah and Sage connect together on screen.
Yeah.
And as the series goes on, Sage starts to feel more distant from his girlfriend. As Savannah tries to juggle more of her popular life all at once, all of a sudden she doesn't have time for Sage anymore, and is completely forgetting and not showing up to dates they've planned, as well as making promises she can't fulfill. Because he's a football player, Sage's games are really important to him, obviously. And while it's easy to see Savannah's downfall from her own perspective, when viewed from Sage's POV, it just comes off as Savannah being disinterested. It probably makes the guy feel like an afterthought to her. We see how this affects him, and it comes to a head when she doesn't show up for the big homecoming game. But you know who does? Rachel. Rachel explains to Sage that no matter if Savannah shows up or not, she would like to come with him, and cheer him on from the sidelines. And it looks like they're really hitting it off because...
My god.
Rachel is definitely a great matchup, I think. Rachel's not as complicated as Savannah, and she's also no longer held back by Brooke wanting to make a perfect image of herself. Under all that plastic, she seems to have a lot of common sense, and definitely enjoys being with Sage. It's implied she always kind of wanted to be with him anyways. I'm 100% here for them. Like the rest of the cast, Sage only appears in the first season. Fever said on a Q&A stream once that the reason for this is he just didn't have a place in the story anymore. And I think that's a great choice. Season 2 introduces another boy love interest, so it wouldn't make sense for Sage to stick around. That, and I feel like his arc ended when...
Okay, good point. Good point. Because sometimes having, like, multiple love interests, you have a problem. Like, you can do a love triangle, but you have to make it interesting enough to actually keep the viewers guessing, but you can't let it go on for too long to make the viewers go like, oh, I'm tired of this, I just want this character to be with so-and-so. Like, that happens. Even I admittedly gotta say, this is tiring, this should really stop. Because, yeah, like, come on. So, when you actually declare basically a love interest at the very beginning of the show, and then end up doing a love triangle later, that really doesn't hold any weight to the stakes. So, if you add in some problems here and there, I can understand a bit of the potential that it could have, but if you're just gonna end up with a concrete love interest at the end of the show, then what's the point of having a love triangle? That is my question. Because you can't just do that. So, what they did in the remake is that they made him hop to girl. So, they ended up going ahead and just saying, you know what, fuck it. We ain't gonna have him have any of these girls. They're just done. And we're just gonna have them hook up with each other. Which I'm gonna say is actually really good. Real quick, where are the crowns? What? Oh, I think those are, like, hold on. Oh, top fans. But anyways, here's the thing. I'm a writer myself, so here's the thing. Love triangles are a bit difficult to actually write sometimes. So, when I actually try to, here's the thing. I tried to write a love triangle at one point, but it actually became a bit of a struggle because I couldn't find any chemistry between certain characters unless they actually have similar interests or just, similar backgrounds. You can have a character bond over a trauma experience, hobbies, anything, really. So, basically, this is related to my Ninjago OC, Elira. And I was like, you know what? Take out this whole love triangle stuff. They don't need this because, basically, she is already declared as Lloyd's love interest because they're childhood friends to lovers in the future, So, yeah. Basically, this was a draft. And, yeah. And I eventually threw away this draft because I did not like it. It was hard to do. It was very hard to do. And when I say Elira, I mean Rena. Very old before the replacement happened. So yeah. Love triangles are hard. So yeah, just saying, take your time, make interesting love triangles. Don't just do a love triangle to make the audience go oh, I think this person would be so-and-so.
When he and Rachel got together. Sage is definitely more of a static character than a dynamic character, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
His role in the story and exit is proof that a character can be static and still interesting, even if he's kind of a fuckboy. Yeah, I can't defend that aspect of his character.
Yeah.
Also, he does make a cameo in Season 2. Check out this Furbook screenshot and... Wait, does he have a kid?
Oh!
Tom Dawson is a character I really want to unpack, because he's probably my favorite boy. Even though he comes around halfway through Season 1, he's shown being around the school and foreshadowed a lot. I just think that's neat because you don't really catch it until the second watch through. We first meet Tom when Savannah literally runs into him. This is during the arc where Brooke is spreading school-wide lies about Savannah. Tom says he doesn't believe any of them, while also having a high flirt game. Riz King. In contrast...
Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah. Love triangles are hard. My goodness. Come on. If anything, communication is key. Communication is key.
Contrast with Sage, Tom claims he had eyes for Savannah ever since day one, which means before she got her makeover.
Yeah.
This makes Tom Vanna a lot more genuine. After some playing hard to get from our girl Sav, Tom very romantically asks Savannah to be his girlfriend. Okay, it's a little dramatic and almost treated like a proposal, but it's sweet. And of course Savannah agrees, but we need to talk about Tom's backstory. Because sprinkled throughout the series are bits and pieces out of context to drag the watcher along into thinking he's cheating on Savvy. But since you've watched the series, you did watch the series, right, viewer?
I did.
You and I both know that Tom's no cheater. Let's start from the top. Before Savannah came to school, Tom had a crush on Brooke, but she was way out of his league, so he paid a girl named Megan to go out with him, just to make Brooke notice him. I know this is a pretty bad way to introduce his character, but let me just say, I think this is probably the only morally wrong thing Tom's done in this story. Yeah, it was scummy of him to do Megan like that, but later on, he admits just that. He knows it was wrong, and he says it in a way that makes it sound like he's frustrated with himself for it. A character showing remorse for a mistake they made themselves in the series isn't very common, so even though he did mistreat Megan, at least he learned from it.
Hello! Welcome to the stream. Okay. So another rant. Basically, what Tom did reminds me of Rent a Girlfriend, basically. I don't know why it does. I can't pinpoint where it is. Oh my god. I hate Rent a Girlfriend so much.
Anyways, who cares that much about Megan anyway? She's Megan. So for an unknown reason, Brooke wants to ruin Megan's life. Hey, editor Partly here. Yeah, I forgot there's like some background with Megan and Brooke knowing each other back in 8th grade, and some pet named Carter and some shenanigans like that. I don't know, that still doesn't really give me a reason to care about Megan, and So because Brooke wants to ruin Megan's life for an unknown reason, she takes Tom. While she's in her relationship with Sage, by the way, and the two start kissing around in secret. This went on for a little before Brooke broke things off with him. After this, Tom starts to realize that Brooke isn't really the nicest person, and admits that he was just blinded by the idea of dating the most popular girl in school. He realizes that the only reason she did this was to hurt Megan, so he cuts ties with Brooke, and a year later, tries to start a genuine relationship with Savannah. He wants to get to know her, and after shooting a shot, the two hook up. But Brooke isn't down for the count yet, as she, wanting to get her revenge on Savannah, ties Tom up in her master plan, Operation Fry the Sausage. When Tom obviously declines, Brooke tries to blackmail him with a secret video she took of them making out when they used to date a year ago, threatening to do what else than show Savannah. She tells Tom she'll delete the video for good if he helps her with something at the party of the century. Tom, just wanting to protect Savannah and their own relationship, agrees to come to the party and to help Brooke. Tom at this point is just a pawn in Brooke's game. With no real way to get out of this without possibly putting a dent in his relationship, Tom goes along with what Brooke says. What's Brooke's plan, you may be asking? To force herself upon Tom while Savannah watches. After minutes of being forcefully kissed and teased by Brooke, whose breath smells like fish, as Tom later confirms, Mr. Dawson has had enough of this, and leaves to go find Savannah, after the truth gets revealed to him. If you recall, at this point of the story, Savannah, who thinks Tom is cheating on her with Brooke, and Sage, who's just genuinely unhappy with Brooke and has the hots for Savannah, are sitting in a dark closet alone talking about their feelings. I wonder what will happen. Uh-oh, well I sure hope Tom doesn't see— oh, there goes that. Feeling betrayed that Savannah kissed Sage on her own volition, Tom decides to move away and once again start anew. For some particular reason, that anew is France. Why France in particular? I don't know. But Tom decides that this will be his new start. I know that was a lot of lore and not a lot of character discussion, but Tom is one of those characters you kind of have to know the full story about. And I think
you and me the same. You and me the same. Like, I think it's like a control thing that was going on. I don't know. Like, oh god. Okay. Like, in LBS Popular, there was some type of weird no consent thing with the kissing stuff. Hell, I even got in trouble with the whole fucking make-out scene between Sage and Savannah when I was younger in front of my dad. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Like, here's the thing. I like consent. It's really good. Really good. Really good indeed. But, yeah. It was weird, and of course, it made me feel uncomfortable at how much of this is in the show itself when I was younger. And now I know why it made me uncomfortable, you know? Consent is great. No, notice. I notice you. Yeah, consent is great. Consent is great. That's why I try to input that into as many audios as possible. And if you guys feel like a certain scene in one of my audios is uncomfortable, feel free to point that out. Timestamp it if you want. So yeah. Let me know if one of these scenes makes you uncomfortable.
I think that's what makes him most interesting. He's been on each side. He's liked Brooke, but then saw how mean she is. He wanted an artificial love, but then he realized he longed for something with meaning. He fell in love with Savvy, but she fell for someone else. Even though things seemed so perfect with Savannah, it wasn't meant to be. And that's what Tom is trying to convince himself throughout his arc in France. When his lack of French lexicon is making him lonely, Tom is approached by Violette, a French collie. I say that like French collie is a breed of dog, but I just mean she's a collie who's French. Violette says she'll help out Tom. Luckily, she's fluent in English. Tom info dumps to her about literally everything I explained up to this point, and Violette tries briefly to convince Tom that maybe Savannah wasn't worth all that anyways. Tom's reply is a conflicted maybe, and this is a good look into his complex. Tom at this point is a character who constantly goes back and forth in his own head about his next choice. He's stuck at a crossroads between the past he had and the future he's chasing. He's moved away to start anew and put everything behind him, but he's not even sure about that. This next scene symbolizes that entirely. Tom is on Fishbook, yes, that's this world's equivalent of Facebook, and he's looking at Savannah's profile. Disappointed that she's dating Sage
Not that
officially.
meme.
A lot of people I've heard misread this scene as Tom stalking Savannah, but I think the actual intention of the scene becomes clear when he gets a text from Violette on his phone, beckoning him to come and see her. Tom once again tries to shake his head free of doubt, telling himself that this is the start of his new...
Yeah, I know. That meme is weird. But yeah, it's funny. Poor fish. Yeah. But here's the thing. All these characters are basically minors. So yeah, all this chaos is happening with minors, so no shit that they don't know what the fuck they're doing is wrong half of the time. So yeah, petty revenge all around. Holy shit. Remember, LPS Popular is based in a school. And in the remake, they come to terms with how their behaviors are. And, like, yeah. I like the remake a lot better than the original series. I do have to admit. So, for Tom to actually go back and forth on his decisions, I can say makes sense. Because he's made many bad decisions. So, yeah. Wait, that's true. Yeah, it is true. So, yeah. There's a reason why I like the remake a lot better than the actual original series. Because, well, it's way better. And also better understanding of behaviors of teenagers and, you know, how things are in the actual heads of the characters. Everybody who hates Rumi, raise a hand. I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my hand. I can't wait for y'all to see the next video for the next video of the Lloyd series. Wait, did I? Hold on. I need to check one of my posts real quick. Hold on. Community post time. I need to check something. Did I forget to put that in the frickin' 7K thing? Oh my god, I did. Holy. I'm so dumb. I forgot to put in a Jinx video for part 2 of all of these. I forgot to put in Jinx 2. My god. I hate myself. I swear. I hate myself. Give us the info. I couldn't. I'm so dumb. I swear to God. I hate this. I hate my life. Oh my God. So yeah. Whoop. My bad. Okay, let's just continue with this.
His new life. The scene ends with Tom neither trying to contact Savannah nor answering Violette's text. We can assume he did return Violette's messages, but the fact we don't see the path he chooses before the scene ends speaks miles about his mental position. I think using Savannah to represent Tom's past and Violette to represent his future is great storytelling, especially in a drama such as Popular. Because, like the future does, eventually, Violette throws Tom an ultimatum. It's her or me. You can chase this girl who cheated on you, or you can come with me and be together. Pressured, Tom chooses Violette. And for a while, things go swimmingly. They're official. They're a thing. Until Tom sees that Sage and Savannah have broken up. And then it's right back to uncertainty. But he's committed now. He can't just move back and try again. Tom's old story is over, and his new story starts with a girl named Violette. Also, his eyes look like fidget spinners. Unlike the characters we've discussed thus far, Tom in Remake doesn't appear until Season 2. So the status quo is that the characters are out of high school and starting their path through college. When we first meet Tom, he approaches Savannah and starts, "Oh my dog, he has a country accent now."
Lord, where are my manners? Okay, Tom Dawson, Texas.
That is brilliant.
Damn. That is... Dude, I was not expecting that. I forgot how he sounded. Oh my god. But, yeah.
Brilliant. In this version, Tom is the son of a famous football player and soon-to-be movie star, Billy Dawson. He comes off as a really nice guy, definitely a family man, as one of the reasons he went to California was so he can see his mom and sisters on the weekends. I get a very humble vibe from Tom, like he doesn't want to let his fame define who he is. His father's success leaves him with a lot of money and a lot of attention. I want to highlight this because at no point does Tom let this get to him. He is such a genuine guy, and he's looking for a genuine relationship. We get to see how the world sees Tom Dawson. A prime example is in the special that takes place after season 2. We'll get back to this later. But the point is that everywhere this doggone dog walks, he's faced with people recognizing him and asking for his autograph, and so on and so forth. We can assume this is a frequent, perhaps daily occurrence. And like a lot of the big shot stars in the world, he's probably sick of it. Day after day of facing the same interactions can really wear a guy down. And that's why Savannah is perfect to Tom. Tom doesn't stick with Savannah because she's pretty. He sticks with her because he sees her for who she is. And he hopes that the same can be said vice versa. Savannah doesn't...
Yeah, because, like, when it comes down to being, like, a popular person, like, where you're basically recognized all the time, like, here's the thing. When you meet a certain person who doesn't know you at all, and, like, they don't even know who you are despite being famous, that is a interesting plot line. Like, that's what I think. But here's the thing. Sometimes that can't always lead to where you think it will go. Like, when you're searching for a genuine relationship with that person, it won't go forward with it. Like, it's complicated. It has layers. Like, relationships are way more complicated than you think. Like, it's not always roses and stuff. Do you want to be a big shot? Oh my god, Spamton, what are you doing in my chat? No worries, I like... Hold up. Sweet cake, what are you talking about again? What are you talking about? Oh my god, I walked into that one. Sorry for the Shrek thing. But yeah, when it comes down to explaining things, there are layers.
doesn't know who Tom is because of his status, or money, or relation. She knows who Tom is because they have the same history class. Because they shared breakfast at Panther Bread together. Tom likes that Savannah sees him as a person before seeing him as a rich, famous football star. And that's what's most important to him. Also, he has insane flirt game.
Those girls who order a salad and steal your fries are the worst.
Yeah, well, I tried being that girl once in high school. Let's just say it didn't work out.
Good thing, too. You're beautiful as you are.
But he's casual about it, too.
Well, hey, you know what's not complicated?
What?
Me. I mean it, though. What you see is what you get. I'm just a guy who really, really likes you.
Like, damn, my boy's smooth with it?
Yeah,
also
that's
think it's really
smooth.
cute how he spells her name wrong when texting her for the first time. And Wednesday. Another thing about Tom that's so important is that he's extremely respectful. If he thinks he's overstepping his boundaries, he comes out and asks to make sure. He's always keeping Savannah's best interest in mind.
I'm not going to push you to do anything you don't want to do, okay?
Even when Brooklyn's
Okay. Now, here's the thing. I really like Tom's character in the remake more. Because in the original series, I got complicated and mixed signals about it. Like seriously. I don't know. I just felt like I had a complicated love-hate relationship with the original Tom and the actual Tom in general. LPS popular. Look it up. Okay, hold on. I'm sending the link again. I'm sending a link. There we go. LPS popular, basically the character's explanation. Deep dive. Basically what I'm saying is that Tom is interesting in the original series, but in the remake, I feel like I can get what he's trying to do, but something still pet peeves me about him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he still has the same model or something.
Protective and hostile behavior can get obtrusive towards their relationship. I can tell that Tom knows she's still...
I appreciate you too, sweet cake.
He brings up the idea of the two spending a bit of time apart because he notices even the thought of Brooke is enough to get Savvy worked up. However, after watching a couple scenes back, it's more clear to me now that he was pretty direct. And while he only had good intentions, and always gave Savannah a means to voice her own input, most of the time Savannah gave a non-answer, and that probably should have cued Tom in at least a little bit that she wasn't as interested in him as he was in her. But again, he just wants to do what makes Savannah most happy. In the middle of the story, Tom has the gang stay over at his dad's beachside mansion in Malibu. This is where we get the big reveal. Tom is being drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. Bro is going to the NFL. I'll pretend I know enough about football to know what this means, but basically, he's going to ask Savannah here and now on this trip to marry him. Now, Savannah and Tom have only been dating for 4 months, so this might seem like a huge jump forwards in their relationship that's a little unprompted. And it is, yeah, 4 months, geez. There's a stark contrast between Tom and Savannah's lifestyles. Tom is a man who knows exactly what he wants. He knows his motivation. He knows his goal. He knows what he wants to do to get there, and he knows who he wants to be with. Compare this to Savannah, who doesn't know what she wants, and actively suppresses her actual feelings. This isn't even miscommunication. It's blatant lying on Savvy's end. Fueled by so many different emotions she has over the series, she forces herself to agree with what...
Okay, hold on. Let me clear something up. Basically in the remake, when Tom comes in, the crew is basically all in college, which is why I kind of like the remake, because it moves up. It moves up and it actually has them as like adults in freaking college, you know? So yeah, when I said that most of the cast, was in high school, I mean the original casts before and not after. And in the original series, they don't go to they're not in college whatsoever. All this has happened in high school, which is why I'm a bit concerned. So yeah.
With whatever Tom says, lying to him about if she's really happy. All Tom can do is take this at face value. This ultimately ends when the wedding day arrives and Tom is left standing there at the altar, wondering where his future wife has gone. Okay, so make that 2 people Savannah has ruined the life of. As much as I adore Savannah and Brooke together, I can't help but feel bad for Tom. He just wanted something genuine, was told he found just that, and then it was torn right from under his paws. Tom is just destined to get the short end of the stick, huh?
Damn.
Well, it doesn't end all bad for Tommy Boy here. In the special I mentioned earlier, we see how this affects Tom's structure. His performance in games dropped for a while. That wedding day really got to him.
Damn.
Even though he's slowly beginning back into the groove, it's still heavily affecting him. I mean, I wouldn't expect something like an objection from the bride herself to be easy to get over. Near the end, though, Tom meets a collie named Violet. I see what you did there. Violet, like Savvy, doesn't know that Tom is famous. But unlike Savvy, she speaks with confidence in her voice. Violet comes off as not having any doubt or feelings to hide.
Yeah.
It looks like in the end, things are going to be looking up for Tom after all.
Yeah.
I'm Violet, by the way.
Tom Dawson.
Aw, that's actually real sweet. I like that.
Genevieve starts out fine.
That came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. Hold up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ah, I was not expecting that. okay. I'm fine. It's not even midnight yet. I almost got caught. Wait, hold on. What? No, not yet. I'm still. Oh my goodness. Ah. But yeah, I'm sorry that that happened, guys. Hold
And
on.
in my book, she befriends Savannah, helps her find a way around the school, and we can assume she's already close to Lena, since Lena is who introduces her to Sav. She and Lena are on the same page of starting to get Savannah to strike back at Brooke, mostly by coming on to Sage, her boyfriend. Ooh, drama. In this point of the story, both of them are pretty equally supportive of Sav, noticing when she's not eating enough, trying to boost her confidence when Brooklyn tears it down, etc. But around episode 10, we start to observe her acting differently as she gets more popular. That popularity high is something that Savannah's feeling alongside Jenny, and it's starting to go to their heads. When getting ready for the party of the century, Sav and Jenny are getting along so nicely with their new popular girl attitudes, they're deliberately excluding the third member of their clique, Lena. I'll talk about this more when we discuss Lena herself, but this won't be the last time she confronts Jenny in particular about this. During the party, a few important things happen. Most notably, Rachel's boyfriend, Nathan, who is worst boy, starts coming on to Jenny. Jenny's always had a crush on Nathan, so she jumps at this chance. When Rachel walks over and sees her boyfriend and Jenny smooching it up, all Jenny can say is, "Whoops," with a sly tone in her voice. Damn girl, go off. The next notable Jenny moment is when she goes over to Nathan's later in the series. This cuts the hangout she was having with Lena short. And Lena reveals that Jenny and Nathan have been talking almost obsessively to each other, so much so it interrupts their friendship. After Jenny convinces Lena this is fine because she's liked Nathan for a long time, she leaves to go and see him. She's excited to hang out until Nathan starts making non-stop advances on her. Nathan is worst boy, by the way. Jenny opposes this because she's not comfortable with it whatsoever, leading Nathan, after trying to have his way once more, to just say, forget it, and dump Jenny, after not wanting to do more than just hold pause. When Lena gives Jenny a reality check in the form of a well-deserved...
Okay, real quick. Never give in to a guy that pressures you to do something. That motherfucker is an asshole. Never do it. Never give in.
Deserved I told you so over the phone, Jenny blows up, and the two decree that they won't continue to be friends. And I'm sorry, Genevieve stans, but Lena's kinda right. Nathan cheated on Rachel for her. The guy barely shows any investment. Jenny should have seen this coming, but I mean, like, obviously I feel bad for her, of course. Nathan is an ass and was trying to have his way without her consent.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't a well-thought-out decision to go after him, Jenny has every right to be upset. Upon reading back my script before recording for the video, I realized that I didn't really talk about Jenny as a character, just about what happened to her. So I sat down to figure out the reason behind that. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot to talk about separate between Jenny and Lena. They're on the same wavelength for the beginning of the story, and around season 2 we start to follow Savvy more directly, and she's out of school. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Jenny. In the earlier episodes, she's very cute. I like when she squeals. I don't know, I think Lena at least has traits that come out later in the series that make her more distinct from the other two. But Jenny is just kinda the bestie, you know? I'm glad she's here, she's not my favorite, but I just wish there was a little bit more to talk about her. It's not a fault of her own because her character is dynamic, it does go places. It's just she's not in a lot of scenes post-season 1. Last thing I'll say about her is I'm not really a fan of her post-party design. She dyes her fur blonde, and while I think it suits her character arc of being caught up in all the popularity, I also think it makes her look a little too similar to Rachel. At least we know Nathan has a type. By completely contrasting her behavior in the original, Remake Jenny has to be one of my favorites. She's something pretty much everyone in this series needed. The mom friend. Even
The
if
mom
herself a-
friend.
Guys, Remake Jenny is so sweet. She really just wants to make sure everyone
We all
around her
love
is
the
okay.
mom friend.
Acting as a source of encouragement for her friends, her positive problem-solving personality makes her very charming and warm to be around. During the second arc of season 1, she's the biggest driving force trying to make amends between Savannah and Brooklyn. Even after Savannah starts to become cold and distant with everybody, Jenny still tries to fix things. She doesn't give up when the going gets tough. Seeking out and talking to Brooke means Jenny understood she was hurt and was able to see the bigger picture happening between the two. Jenny's forte in Remake is how well she's able to talk down to earth with others, and in
I haven't been
particular,
checking
Savannah.
my
In
Discord.
the second season, Jenny is the one to start questioning Savannah face to face about how she really feels about Brooke.
and tries many times to get her to open up about it. She's very smart, and it makes sense. Her study path of choice seems to be in the field of psychology, the study of the mind. Why people do what they do or say what they say. Jenny also shows this when, unlike a majority of the school, she fully believes Savannah was framed for the note Brooke left on her own locker. Jenny knows who people really are. On the topic of interactions with other characters, when the diligent spaniel is partnered up for a project with Rachel Rivera, someone who isn't as interested in working on her schoolwork, time after time, Jenny gets Rach to try to cooperate with her, to the point where she's metaphorically on the floor crying. Jenny never blows up. She just kind of takes things, and the most you see her do is get huffy.
Get out, Brian. I gotta go. Wait. No, please. It's just one line. Just one. Out. Why me?
Mm.
An especially cute dynamic is her relationship with Lena, who's prone to speaking her mind even when it isn't appropriate. Jenny just kind of passes off whatever remarks she has. These two are such a treat together. Oh, and instead of Nathan, we have River, who from what I can tell is in fact not worst boy. We like River. Jenny and River's relationship, from the glimpses we get, seems pretty nice. She's so cute when she's oogling over him while kissing him. And the Fair and Furious scene always gets a laugh out of me.
They're seriously putting a football player in Fair and Furious now?
Maybe that means we can finally stop watching them.
Nah, we'll still give it a shot.
Jenny is also very
People for
protective of those around her.
remakes
Like said, she wants the best
of
for
Disney
everyone. And this is shown in how
movies.
she double-checks Savannah's text messages when she's first texting Tom. One point about Jenny that I think is very interesting is that no matter how smart and caring she is, she's not flawless. This comes in the form of her ambition, in which she will jump at the chance to assist everybody at once. But unfortunately, that's not a possibility sometimes. Jenny thinks she can do it all for everyone else's sake. River brings this up at one point, and I really like this type of challenge for a character with a positive way of thinking like Jenny. I wonder if her passionate yet impossibly perfect outlook will come into play in the future. She did indeed assist Savannah and Brooke's rekindling in their friendship and the forming of their eventual relationship. However, it took Savvy to the breaking point in both occasions before she made her choices on her own accord. Jenny strives to be helpful, but life has its own way of winding the story of these cats and dogs. It's just food for thought. Anywho, Genevieve will always bring a positive vibe to each episode, as well as her own signature, va-va-voom. Oh, my dog. Lena deserved better from just about anyone. Out of everyone in this series, Lena is the most sane. She doesn't deliberately chase boys.
Yeah.
She doesn't go after people already in relationships. She's not out for revenge. She's not poking her head around in drama, and she doesn't let popularity go to her head. Lena
Yeah.
likes to have fun and talk girl stuff, but she's usually also pretty focused on her studies. You know, because this show does take place in a school. And the problem is, because of that, she's kind of forgotten about by her friends. I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
Lena was the realest friend Savannah could ever have. She was the first person to show her around the school, and to just be a real caring friend. And later in the story, both Savannah and Jenny are effectively calling her a nerd and pretending that she's not in the room. All because what? She has her life together?
Yeah.
Another thing revealed in her fight with Jenny over the phone is that Lena's never had a relationship. Jenny claims that because of this, Lena doesn't understand why she wants to be with Nathan. I don't really understand why Jenny wants to be with Nathan either, but I digress.
Yeah.
This line solidifies the disconnect between Lena and her friends at this stage of the series. Lena invited Jenny over for a girls' night together, to just kick back, have fun, take a break from the drama, but Jenny's a boy kisser. She just wants to kiss boys.
Ugh.
And thus, she brings drama into Lena's life in the form of her own. Lena's most standout quality, especially in the later half of the series, is her genuineness. In a show with so much scandal, disgust, secrets, and romantic drama, Lena stands out by avoiding the status quo, being a breath of relief when she's on screen. Knowing
Yeah.
that she's not going to fall for any tomfoolery.
If anything, she's
At
one of
first,
the
I thought
most
she was
realistic
unfortunately
characters I
underrated,
know.
since she doesn't have a whole ton of time to shine by herself in comparison to the other main characters. But I was pleasantly surprised to see there are a lot of based Lena appreciators online. And in
Hell yeah.
retrospect, these aspects really put her up there for me. Also, she's a lesbian. Think about it, people. The way she's not interested in boys, the way she goes ew whenever she sees Sage and Brooke kissing. This cat likes girls.
Hell
No,
yeah.
kissing Larry Wolf once does not count.
Or what you would call gay or homosexual.
Everything that comes out of this bastard cat's mouth is sarcastic. This rendition of Lena chose violence when waking up this morning. And I am all here for it.
Hell
Whereas I
yeah.
adore the original Lena for her resistance against the popular train,
I adore Remake Lena for a very different reason. This cat is a little unhinged. If Lena opens her mouth, you're either getting a dose of sarcasm or brutal, brutal honesty.
Are you guys gonna eat that pizza?
Yeah?
Great, I'm starving.
I think this kind of sums up Lena's whole deal. Dare I say, she's funnier than this version's Alicia, but that's jumping ahead a little. In fact, I'll just play a few of my favorite Lena moments here.
It's just a birthday party, Sav. Me and Jenny are just gonna meet the boys, eat the food, schmooze, and leave.
I wish we had dates.
Sure, but I mean the shrimp bites are worth the trip here alone. Sure. Because unhurt people who don't need help definitely have cookies, chips, chocolate, and soda out while playing Final Fantasy IV. I mean, dude, that game is a cry for help in its own right. It totally sucks, you're right.
Hey, hi girls, how are ya?
Oh my dog, Alicia, I already told you I will vote for you if you just leave us alone.
The list goes on, but I'm sure you can get the picture of who Lena is by now. I figured if I showed off her in action, that would do way more justice than I could have done explaining it. I really like her dynamic with Jenny. They really feel like two people
I
who
drank
have
all
been
the Capri
long-term
Suns.
friends. Jenny being used to the typical mannerisms of the cat. But my favorite dynamic is with Lena and her totally not boyfriend, Howard. Howard comes in at season 2, and he's everything he needs to be. This guy's an actual nerd emoji, but he's also a simp for Lena, and that plays off her mean attitude so well.
How many times do I have to tell you to keep a 3-foot minimum distance between us in public?
It used to be 4. I love you too, Angelita.
And you don't feel bad for him or anything, because he's Howard, and he seems to honestly be enjoying it deep down. Savannah seems to think of Lena as the person with the strongest spine she knows, and that makes sense. Nothing really seems to shake Lena all that much. She continues to keep a cool, almost monotone voice throughout, one that only adds to her comedic quips. Fever said on a Q&A that she wrote Lena this way because when rewatching the first episode, she, quote, found her too boring. She's a bitch now, end quote. I totally get where that idea is coming from. It takes a while for original Lena to really come into her own, and that's the reason why this interpretation of the character is so different. As someone who appreciates both Lenas, this is a win for the Lena army. Repost if you agree.
Is that Howard?
No! Get out of here!
But it's only 6 a.m. I want to go back to sleep.
Out!
Honestly, Rachel was almost my favorite character. When I went back to watch the series to review before this video, I was surprised to find she's actually a lot nicer than I remember. Relative to the antagonist of the series, of course. Don't get me wrong, she's still caught up in Brooke's schemes, squirting pen ink on Savannah, being short with others, but you also notice that she's the one with the most conscience. Rachel showcases this when she challenges Brooke after she labels Sav as being fat. Of course, since this is Rachel's own independent thought, Brooke absolutely dunks on her for this, but it starts to set up what I consider to be her standout scene, which occurs only a few episodes later. The Party of the Century arc really is the best arc in the show for just about every character, isn't it? Here, we see Rachel dancing with her boyfriend. Nathan, who isn't just worst boy, but also the worst in general, doesn't even break up with Rachel. He just walks over to the punch bowl, sees Genevieve, and then starts loving on her instead. We hate Nathan, worst boy. This leaves Rachel devastated, as it would anyone, and she finally starts to see the bigger picture. When approached by Sage in this self-aware state, she advises him to go upstairs and attempt to catch Brooke in the act. That act, of course, being phase 1 of the plan. When Brooke catches up to the group, ready to start the second part of their plan, Rachel stands up to Brooke once more, saying she didn't want to be part of the plan anymore. This is where I really started to root for her, admitting she's tired of hurting others and doesn't want to be part of their spiteful plan any longer. In true Brooke fashion, she kicks her while she's down, not only knocking her out of her clique, but also claiming she actually hooked up with Nathan to get math homework answers. Again, Nathan is... Rachel runs off after this. This scene says a lot about Rachel. It shows us she has a heart, and while she does enjoy being a Barbie doll with Brooke and Alicia, she isn't as heartless as the former, and much more aware than the latter. Rachel was sort of just a lackey to hang around Brooke before this point, so I can't wait to see where this goes from here. Is what I would say, if a few episodes later she didn't go right back to being Brooke's lackey again. Yeah, this is really bizarre to me. Now, to be fair, we have yet to see where the story goes from this point, so this could change. But as it stands right now, it appears that Rachel just ignored her own character arc in the latter half of season 2. There are still moments that show her reflecting on words and showing she thinks twice about what others say, but she's back in contact with Nathan and following Brooke around again. Like, damn girl, where'd your arc go, girl? Nonetheless,
where'd it go?
I like Rachel a lot. She's one of my favorites either way. OG Popular shows us that Rach is this girl who just might be in the wrong friend group, and she's self-aware enough to be a deeper person beneath the plastic casing. But Remake Rachel goes all in on the plastic, and I love her. She's your typical, like, whatever, gossip girl, and part of probably one of the funniest subplots in the show. She and Jenny get partnered up for an assignment, which leads to Jenny just wanting to do her work, while Rachel frustratingly is too busy on the phone to collaborate.
Fucking.
Because of the story being vastly different after the Party of the Century arc, she never really gets to stand up to Brooke. But, during the events of the party, she and Alicia do warn Savannah straight to her face about Brooke's plan. The two are kind of on the same page this time around, instead of Alicia blindly following Brooke's word. Rachel comes off as this person who doesn't particularly care about anything that's happening, but during more important moments, she stands up and speaks up. After this, Savannah and Brooklyn go through their role reversal arc for the rest of the season, meaning Rachel and Alicia are following Sav around now, both of which are kind of pushing Savannah into wanting to outdo Brooke at her own game. But as this affects Savannah, she's unable to keep up every different aspect of her life at the same time, and starts not being able to attend important events, like her own dates. A lot of factors play into Sav's downfall, so I can't necessarily blame Rachel or Alicia, or even Sage for that matter, but none of these factors certainly help. Regardless, Sage gets upset about Savannah's coming across of not taking their relationship seriously, and he and Rachel start dating. The morality of the ship is a little gray, but I'm kind of here for it. Sage makes a cute ship name, and they seem to hit it off pretty well. And that's the end for Rachel. Just like Sage, Fever said the two had no place in the story after a certain point, which I respect. As much as I like them, forcing the two into season 2 wouldn't work. So it's a good choice on her end. Though I'd love to see another cameo appearance of Rachel someday, her voice is the most fun thing to imitate. Like, literally. Also, this guy's actually me.
Hey, Rachel.
Oh, my freaking
Rachel,
hi.
Alright, hold the phone, you guys, because we are about to talk about the literal best character in all of fiction, Alicia Hamilton.
You are, like, a genius. And Albert. Oh, you know. Scientist dude with the crazy white hair? I think he invented, like, the toilet or something.
What the fuck?
For last here, Alicia, while part of the Barbie dolls, is not nearly as cold and cunning as Brooke or Rachel. She's also...
Is it true that she's actually hippopotamus?
not the brightest, but I assure you, dear viewer, she is best girl. Alicia is the comic relief, and definitely has some of the funniest lines in the series. She's portrayed as the ditzy one, and if you know anything about me, you know this is one of my favorite character archetypes ever. There are so many bits in the show that make her memorable, like when she gets drunk off the punch bowl in the Party of the Century, or when she gets stuck in a locker. Alicia's the real queen of the school, guys, let's be honest. But there's a bit more to Alicia than just being the funny. She also comes in clutch in the season 1 in what's debatably the most tense moment in the series, and for sure one of my favorites. Savannah, Brooke, Tom, and Sage are all yelling at each other, talking over one another, and things are about to spiral out of control, where Alicia, very surprisingly, speaks up aloud, and gets everybody to be quiet. This moment in particular made me really pay attention to her. Most of the time, she's just going with whatever Brooke says, with the usual happy face on. But when things escalate, Alicia can be self-aware. This keeps her from falling into writing pits that most comic relief characters usually fall into. Most of the time, when Alicia says something really, well, dumb, the others just shrug it off and ignore her. But I don't think Alicia can be fazed by backlash anyways. There are scenes where Brooke snaps a bit of snark at her, and Alicia is blissfully unaware that a jab was ever said.
Come to think of it, I think it was the same night you were completely freaking useless. Right!
Unaware is probably the best word I would use to describe her, actually. Alicia's inclusion in the Barbie dolls brings a sense that I can't really define, but it would be missing if she wasn't there. An absolute joy of a character. I wonder if Sophie knows she wrote the best character of all time.
For meowing out loud, just dump his tail. Chase, I'm breaking up with you.
What?
Remake Alicia is great too. Oh my god, she is so great. She's still the comic relief hyperactive chihuahua we know from before. But she's not as no thoughts head empty as she was prior, though she more than makes up for it in her spontaneous, adrenaline-filled moments across the series. Basically, instead of sometimes speaking her mind, which always feels like it's in another world, this Alicia speaks at 400 words per second, butting in with some of the cutest and funniest dialogue in the show. The frantic emotions are always pouring out of this chihuahua. For most of season 1, she's pretty often paired with Rachel, as the two are usually sharing the same sentiment when talking to Brooke or Sap. But I noticed that Savannah usually talks to Alicia more. I think this is done deliberately because, unlike Rachel, Alicia actually carries over into the next season. She joins our main cast and just starts hanging out with the girls. I love that. Alicia never felt cunning or evil on her own. Adding her onto our classic Sav, Lena, Jenny trio, plus Brooke as well, is a perfect way to continue her into the new plot season 2 provides. And Fever did the best thing she could have ever done with Alicia. She made her into a vlog YouTuber.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel!
You guys are never gonna believe where we
Patrick!
are.
I didn't know I knew this until I had it. Alicia and also her boyfriend Darren, who may have less brain cells than Alicia, run a YakTube channel, which actually adds to the drama of the plot. When Tom invites the cast to his pop's big old mansion, they're explicitly told to keep it on the down low. This is ultimately ignored when Alicia decides to vlog at said mansion, which blows up online. This leads to Tom not being able to trust the Chihuahua. Oh, Alicia, disrespecting someone's privacy like that, what are we gonna do with you? No, seriously, she's hilarious. When Brooke tells her some of her most major secrets, she says the info cannot leave this room. So Alicia invites her friends over so she can tell them within the same room. She is big brain. Another thing about Alicia is how in both seasons, she's constantly either not listening or straight up not attending class altogether. You go, girl. Not even a participation grade will stop this little monster. There's this scene where everyone's joking about how Alicia wants to be a nurse when she gets out of college, and I'm just sitting there like, you guys are so mean, bro. I predict that Alicia is going to be the most successful out of all the characters when season 3 comes around. She's going to victory lap you guys. As long as the apology video didn't tank her rep too hard.
Hey there! Yeah, screw the patriarchy.
Oh,
What?
Okay, so I don't have a whole lot to say about Brigitte or her remake counterpart. Actually, while writing the script, I almost forgot to talk about her. But I think there's reasoning for that, and we'll get into it in a minute. But first, who is Brigitte? She first shows up in season 2 and seems to be awfully close to Sage. Like, almost a little too close. Sage says they're like cousins. They grew up knowing each other, and Sage's parents offered to let her stay at their house while she attends a semester in California. She's from all the way over in France, so the language barrier can sometimes get in her way, but she seems to be mostly fluent. Although, it comes across like every word she says...
hold up. Are you guys suggesting a French Lloyd because of this? The video that I'm listening to? I don't know. I know this is a joke, but what the fuck? My god. Oh my god, no. I'm not doing that, no.
Almost seems like it's tailor-made
No.
to put Savvy and Sage's relationship in jeopardy. Okay, things seem all good and normal for the most part, until Savannah finds a note on her locker that she thinks the new French exchange student had a part in writing. She brings this up to Sage, and Sage defends Brigitte, reminding her that she has a boyfriend named Philippe. This is kind of all we learn about Brigitte, though. She comes in really late to the series, and since season 2 focuses mostly on the conflict between Savannah, Brooke, and the cricket, she's not in most episodes. Brigitte is seemingly unaware and innocent of all the conflict she's causing. But look, I ain't never gonna trust someone who makes this face in secret. A whole lot of LPS Popular's lore within its second season feels like it's leading up to something huge. I often get the impression there's a higher power at play behind the scenes, like Savannah is wrapped up in something bigger than she knows. Whether it be the note on her locker, the strange calls, the impersonation, Josh and Lana, and whatever Lena and Jenny were planning on telling her. There are so many loose threads which I can only assume had conclusions that we haven't seen yet. Brigitte is one of those loose ends. There's so much going on in the background of our main plot, and a bunch of it has to do with France. For the life of me, I can't get a good read on this dog, and I think that's a good thing. It puts us in the same shoes as Savvy herself. We, as the viewer, don't know who to trust, and it keeps us guessing. Does it get more confusing than the lower stakes of Season 1? Yes. And I feel like some of Season 2's events and characters are a bit of a shark jump. But Season 1 had lots of foreshadowing, like with Tom and Brooke's whole background, or Rachel's nicer side, that led to a culmination in the finale. Thus, I feel like Season 2 has a natural progression of upping the stakes. We've just yet to see how everything wraps up. Wait, who was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Brigitte. Brigitte is a character I only really remember for what she represents and not who she is, but I can respect that. She's a static character, but has so much for the drama of the show, especially to Savannah and Sage. Dude, I love foreshadowing! So Brigitte isn't in Remake. Instead, we have her counterpart, Briac. When Brooke goes to Paris at the start of Season 2, she meets Briac, and the two become great friends. So much so, Brooke changes her profile picture to both of them together. The girls back home take this out of context and assume that Briac must be Brooke's new boyfriend. This is the driving force that makes Savannah jealous, leading her to continue pursuing her relationship with Tom. However, it turns out that Briac is in fact not Brooke's boyfriend, because Briac is gay.
Briac is gay!
Or homeless.
There are tons of hints throughout the series that you notice on a second rewatch, such as when Brooke talks to Briac on the phone. She's speaking in coherent French, and taking the time to translate it reveals more clues about how Brooke is really feeling. Brooke and Briac's friendship is so cute. Briac is in the same place Brooke was relationship-wise. He has a crush on his best friend, which mirrors how Brooke feels about Savvy. Naturally, this becomes a thing they bond over. And eventually, Savannah and Tom coming together gives Briac the push he needs to ask out his friend, Philippe. And this ends up going great for him. In another mirror of events, Philippe feels the same way about Briac, and the two start dating. A happy ending for them both. Briac is so charming, and I don't have a whole lot more to say about him, but dude is cute. I kinda love his extremely broken English.
I will be taking English, anthropology,
I just couldn't sit there and listen to the eh.
Well, good to know she still hates the French. Okay, I guess that's it for all the characters I wanted to talk about. Now all that's left to do is just segue into the miscellaneous things that I noted about the shows when rewatching them. Pretend that was a good segue. One thing I need to bring up is Sophie's inclining quality. You can see it improve with every single upload of the series. From resolution, to the design of the locations, to graduating from using her hands, to using these little stick contraptions to move the pets around. Sophie even starts to use special effects to make the pets actually able to emote now. As you watch the series, it just gets better. Peak production value. Can we talk about Fever's set design? Oh my goodness, Remake goes to so many places. The school, houses of our main characters, cafes, dorm rooms, parties, beaches, resort houses.
Looks
And they're
good.
all so pretty. Like, even if you aren't interested in dramas or character introspective or anything else, watch this for the visuals at least. They are so gorgeously packed with detail. All the little beds, chairs, desks, and tables they interact with makes me forget how small these toys are. It looks super realistic. God, I love the absolute craft of Remake. What the hell were these pigs doing? How do the crickets only sometimes understand English? Please bring this lamp back, she's precious. The intros, oh my god, I can gush about the intros. The first one is Popular by the Veronicas, and it is iconic. This song makes you feel like a girl boss. I am Regina George. No, I am Brooklyn Hayes. But the second intro, it's even better in my opinion. The song is Bad Girl by Girls Love Shoes, and it fits the series, especially Brooke, so well. From the fairy tale-like opening to the electric drop and the hard bass, this just emits the sound of Scandal. This is what I think about when I think of LPS Popular. The editing on it is so flashy and over the top, ahead of its time for sure. You know how when you're binging an anime and you don't want to skip the intro because it hypes you up for the next episode? I get the same feeling with this. Never skip Bad Girl. Intro 3 is cool visually for these shots of Brooke and Savvy, but this one and the next one don't have lyrics, so they're a little less memorable to me. And Intro 4 is mostly just what I assume to be stock footage. There's not much LPS Popular about it. Remake has an intro for Season 2, and it's pretty good. The song is Emotional Mess by Amy Lynn and the Honeymen. It perfectly encapsulates Savannah and her conflicted emotional state over the course of Season 2. Giving Remake its own opening also helps give it more of its own identity. Since Season 2 is the point where things really go off in its own direction, I really hope Season 3 comes with its own opening song in the future. I've cried at this scene 4 times. I really like the thumbnail images for Remake. They give the characters a lot of expression, and the eyes always look great in particular. Except this one makes it look like Savannah found her way into a Roblox horror game for some reason. Where is this? Seriously, I'm not over this face. What is she thinking? What is her game? I just noticed the Megan Collins name drop in Remake. This series keeps on giving! Remake Savannah and Brooke's song is Mary on a Cross, and there's no other alternatives. Original Populars is Backstabber, but specifically the sped up TikTok version. God, I fucking love looking at the pets out of focus in the background. This goes for any LPS series, but they are always just the best. Ah, look! I was very surprised to find that if you type 5D chess into Steam, you do get 5D chess with multiverse time travel. Thanks, Howard. As a whole, the characters in Remake are brimming with personality. I mean this with complete certainty. You can look into every single line of dialogue each character has and learn more about them. Words you didn't think twice about have so much more value on a rewatch. Tier list. Who the hell is this duck guy? So that was a quick look at the characters of LPS Popular and its Remake. This video was a lot of researching, planning, waiting, and writing.
Oh my
But I
god,
really
that's
wanted
the
to get
actual
out there
end.
Because I adore talking about characters. Getting
Oh
into the
my
headspace,
god, I
asking
watched
why
through
they
the
do
whole.
things they
Oh
do.
my
LPS
god!
Popular are such character-driven shows, and that's what always kept me watching. I also wanted to shed a
My
little more light
bad.
on Remake. I think it's such a well-thought-out
My
spin on the
bad.
original story, and provides some closure in a meta sense. If you watch this entire video without checking them out, and you let me spoil the entire stories for you, you're dead to me. But anyways, the biggest point of this video is that I just wanted to get people talking about the characters. While I try to talk about the characters objectively, I put my own opinions in there too. And that's what character discussion is to me. We can all share what we think about these characters and their actions. That's what sparks a fan base. I had a lot of positive feedback on my Core 7 video, and it shed a lot of light on the somewhat blank slates of characters I discussed in that video. Lots of people told me what they liked about my interpretations, and they also shared their own interpretations, which were lovely. And that's why I love character discussion. So let's get down in the comments and talk about Popular's characters, both iterations. Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite? Find someone with a different opinion than you, and instead of just disagreeing with them, ask them why. You'll find that's more productive and interesting. With that, this has been Partly Pinky. Oh, and objectively the best character is Malcolm.
Nice. I actually like that one. That was really good. I like it. I went from fan fiction to watching a whole video essay upon characters of LPS. What the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop wasting you guys' time now. yeah, just do whatever the heck you want now. Bye.